Welcome to The Explainer. You know, the world of AI development it moves incredibly fast. And the time it takes you to get the hang of one feature in Claude Code, it feels like Anthropic and the community have already rolled out a dozen more. It is a lot to keep up with. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and get right to the latest features and tools you actually need to be using. Does it ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of updates? Yeah, you're not alone. Honestly, trying to keep track of every new tool, command, and config can feel like a full-time job. But what if you could just get the highlights? The upgrades that are going to make the biggest impact on your workflow, like right now. Well, that's exactly what this explainer is all about. We're going to cover 4 key upgrades. First, mastering your API usage, then customizing your interface, expanding your toolkit, and finally, personalizing your AI to make it the absolute perfect co-pilot for you. Okay, let's kick things off with a problem that I think every heavy user has faced. You're right in the zone, and boom, you unexpectedly hit your API limits. So picture this. You're deep in a coding session. You're making amazing progress, and then, bam, you're rate limited. And the really frustrating part is not even knowing how close you were to the edge, right? You've basically been flying blind on your token consumption, and it just completely killed your momentum. Well, there's this absolutely brilliant community tool called CC Usage that totally solves this. Think of it like a dashboard for your Claude code consumption. It gives you these super clear breakdowns of how much you're spending per day, per month, and most importantly, per usage block. But really, the tool's most powerful feature is the live monitor. You just pop open a second terminal, run CC Usage blocks-live, and that's it. You get a real-time view of your token count and how much time is left in your current block. It's the perfect way to make sure you never get unexpectedly rate limited, ever again. All right, now that you've got your usage under control, let's make your environment a whole lot more powerful. The next step here is to turn your kind of generic terminal into a true command center, just packed with the info you need at a glance. And I mean, the difference is just night and day. On the left, you've got the default prompt, which tells you pretty much nothing. But look at the right. You've got this custom status line just loaded with context. Your directory, your Git branch, the current model, and yeah, even that live usage block we were just talking about. And getting this set up is surprisingly easy. The quick way is to just use that same CC usage tool. It actually has a built-in status line command. But for those of you who want total control, there's an open source tool that lets you customize literally everything with a simple installer. You can pick and choose which stats you want to see and even add colors and emojis. So, with your usage monitored and your interface all customized, let's go ahead and tackle the friction in your actual workflow. We're talking about all that manual configuration that just slows down the real coding. You know the drill. Every time you start a new project, you got to configure agents, set up custom commands, tweak your settings. It's tedious, it's repetitive, and it just gets in the way of actually building cool stuff. So enter Claude Code Templates. Now, don't let the name fool you. This is not just about templates. It is a full-on, comprehensive toolkit created by Daniel Avila. It's basically a repository of ready-to-use configurations that you can install with a single command. Need a new agent or a custom command? Just copy, paste, and you are done. And check this out. Here is the killer feature. The toolkit includes a mobile-friendly chat interface. So this means you can kick off some long-running task at your desk and then just monitor its progress from your phone while you go grab a coffee. It is a fantastic way to stay connected to your work without being chained to your desk. And speaking of long-running tasks, Anthropic has released an official feature for this, background commands. So now you can run a process, say a development server, and then just hit Control+B to send it to the background. And the best part? Claude keeps an eye on the output. So if an error pops up, you can just ask it to check the terminal and fix it. It's multitasking, but supercharged. All these tools are really leading us beyond a one-size-fits-all AI. The next frontier is all about tailoring your co-pilot's behavior to fit your exact needs and maybe even your mood. So let's start with just organization. There's a small but really powerful update. The new ability to use multiple MCP or Master Control Program configuration files. So before, you had to stuff all your tool configurations into one giant JSON file. It was a mess. Now, you can split them up into separate files and load only the ones you need for a specific session. This is so useful. For example, you can have a read-only database tool for analysis and a totally separate write permission tool that you only load when you actually need to make changes. It's just so much cleaner and a lot safer.
Okay, now for the really fun part. Anthropic recently rolled out this new feature called Output Style, which, as you can probably guess, lets you change how Claude responds to you.
And you can get really, really creative with this. For instance, you could create a pirate dev style that responds with all this thematic flair. It might seem a little silly, but it's a powerful demonstration of how you can shape the AI's personality to make your work more engaging. This feature has just an incredible range. So on one end, you have the fun and verbose pirate dev. But on the complete opposite end, you could create a terse style that gives you just the facts, no fluff. It's perfect for when you just need a quick, direct answer. But probably the most powerful application of this feature is the learning style. This literally transforms Claude from a simple instruction taker into an active teaching partner. It'll pause its work, explain what it's doing, and then leave a to-do human marker in the code, asking you to complete a small part of the task. It's like having a patient pair programmer just guiding you through new concepts. So what does this all mean? The big takeaway here is that the Claude Code ecosystem is evolving at an absolutely incredible pace. We're seeing powerful, workflow-changing tools coming from both the official team at Anthropic and the amazing user community. And the result is a development experience that's more efficient, more powerful, and most importantly, way more personal. Look, these tools aren't just small, incremental updates. They really represent a fundamental shift in how we can interact with our AI development partners. Your AI copilot is getting smarter, more flexible, and more aware of your needs. So the only question left is, are you evolving your workflow to match?